5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Simo Häyhä was born on the 17th of December 1905 in Rautjärvi, a small Finnish municipality near the Russian border. His peers described him as a quiet, friendly, and gentle man who focused on his daily work as a farmhand. Rautjärvi was surrounded by Finland's harsh wilderness. Although Simo grew up in a peaceful, rural area far from city life, his own life was far from easy. Severe and unforgiving winters forced the people of southeastern Finland to adapt to the surrounding nature. From a young age, Simo proved to be a skilled hunter, spending much of his youth in the forests with an old bolt-action rifle, successfully hunting small game. By the age of 20, he had completed his mandatory military service and had been promoted to the rank of corporal. He participated in many skiing and shooting competitions, earning a reputation as a dedicated marksman. Like most Finnish men, after completing his service, he joined the national militia, the Suojeluskunta, which had been established to prepare young men for Finland's independence in 1917 and the civil war that followed. This training would prepare men like Häyhä for moments when Finland needed them most. Such a time came on the 30th of November 1939, when the Soviet Union declared war on Finland. A man like Simo Häyhä, who had a simple childhood, paid little attention to world politics or the ambitions of dictators like Joseph Stalin. But, like many Finns, he valued independence and freedom above all. If Finnish citizens did not stand up to defend themselves, these freedoms would be lost. So when the call to arms came, Häyhä responded, just like many of his fellow citizens. He joined the 13th Infantry Regiment in the Kala region north of Lake Ladoga. The Soviet 9th and 14th Armies aimed to rapidly cross the Kalanjoki River, but they were completely unprepared for the terrain. Even in the best of times, this heavily forested area had virtually no infrastructure, and the Soviets had to advance during one of the harshest winters in modern history, with snow up to 6 feet deep and temperatures dropping to -30 degrees Celsius, -22 degrees Fahrenheit. Häyhä was issued a Finnish Mosin Nagant M28/30, which had been in production since 1928. Slightly shorter and heavier than its Russian counterparts, the M28 offered the reliability and accuracy typical of the Mosin Nagant and was an excellent sniper rifle in the hands of an experienced marksman like Häyhä. The rifle, nicknamed Pistikorva, pointed ears, due to its large front sights, would perform exceptionally in his hands. The Finns did not hope to win a direct battle against the Soviet Army's overwhelming power, including tanks, troops, and artillery. Instead, their military strategy relied heavily on hit-and-run tactics. Skilled skiers, familiar with the terrain, would ambush slow-moving Soviet invaders who could not ski and were hindered by cumbersome equipment, while the Finns were naturally adapted to the winter conditions. Many Soviet troops, often from the Leningrad military district, were not, and some had even arrived without adequate supplies for the prolonged conflict. Finnish winters were harsh and unforgiving, even on days with some sunlight. The air remained bitterly cold. Häyhä wrapped himself in thick, heavy winter clothing to protect against the snow and wind, wearing fur-lined gloves and a sniper mask. His white attire blended perfectly with the snowy forests of Kala. Accustomed to roaming alone in the deep woods, Häyhä preferred to work independently, relying on his instincts. Patience and leaving as few traces as possible were essential. An experienced hunter, he carried only a day's worth of food and 50-60 rounds of ammunition. He would scout for a good sniper position, then build a small snow fort to stabilize his rifle and absorb recoil. When Soviet troops wandered into his line of fire, often exhausted and frozen, he would put a handful of snow in his mouth to conceal his breath before squeezing the trigger. During his military training, he could hit a target 150 meters away 16 times per minute. Soon, the trails were littered with frozen Soviet soldiers, killed, without even realizing what had hit them. Some were still standing when found, But in sub-zero temperatures, even minor injuries were often fatal. Häyhä's marksmanship was exceptional, and in a short time on the battlefield, he reached an unprecedented number of kills. On one day alone, just before Christmas, he killed 25 soldiers, while many snipers relied on modern telescopic rifles. Häyhä preferred the old iron sights, believing they allowed him to keep his head lower and remain less visible. He had also trained with the 9mm Suomi submachine gun and carried grenades and a traditional puukko knife for emergencies. As a lone sniper operating beyond the front lines, he often ignored obvious targets to avoid exposing his position. As his reputation grew, Soviet forces increased counter-sniper operations to neutralize him. One famous story tells of a Soviet sniper sent to kill Häyhä after he had killed several Finnish soldiers and officers. Häyhä waited patiently and eventually struck, taking down the enemy. His precision even forced the Soviets to carry large iron shields on the battlefield to protect against Finnish sniper fire. Häyhä became both a symbol of small defiant Finland and a legend known as the White Death to Soviet troops. A ghost-like figure, he haunted the forests tirelessly, frightening Soviet soldiers while boosting Finnish morale. After 80 days of combat, on the 17th of February 1940, Häyhä was officially recognized as a hero of Finland and awarded the Cross of Kola for his extraordinary achievements. He received a custom-made Sako M divided by 2830 rifle as a gift. Despite the legend, Häyhä was human. In early March 1940, during a renewed Soviet offensive, he was wounded when a bullet shattered his jaw. Rescued by comrades and hospitalized, he awoke on the 13th of March to find the war had ended. Finland had successfully defended itself, inflicting heavy losses on the Soviet army. Simo Häyhä recovered from his injuries and lived a long, peaceful life until his death in 2002. In later interviews, he humbly stated that during the Winter War, he simply did what he was told. But in doing so, he became history's most effective sniper, officially recording 505 kills in less than 100 days. Unofficial estimates suggest even higher numbers. When asked what made him such a deadly sniper, Häyhä simply said, "Practice." If you enjoyed this incredible story of one of history's most legendary war heroes, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you'll never miss another amazing tale from the past. Share your thoughts and favorite moments in the comments below. We love hearing from our viewers. And if you know someone who would find this story fascinating, make sure to share this video with them. Your support helps us bring more epic history stories to life.